also be in a position to send us questions. We will then respond to all those questions that would have been sent electronically. MEC?
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning, HOD, members of the media, school leadership, also the officials from the department. I must say this is, maybe let me start by appreciating the school for opening us, for us to conduct this press conference. We do go to our schools, amongst other things, to demonstrate the facilities that these schools have. And Parktown Boys is one of our top schools in the province. So we appreciate them opening for us so that we are able to conduct this press conference. So today we'll be covering two things in the main: update on the Matric National Senior Certificate and the placement. With regard to the National Senior Certificate process, we are currently 10 days away towards its conclusion. So far, the only thing that will take place is the computer application technology. As you know, there was an incident where, due to load shedding, some of the learners could not conclude. So those learners will be given an opportunity to conclude their examination on the 7th of December. But so far, everything has been going quite well, largely incident-free. We've had a school in the Etwatwa area where there were learners who were unable to write because of miscommunication by the principal, Pantumfundo. Those were 53 learners. So those learners as well, they will be given an opportunity to conclude, to write their economics paper, paper 1. But besides that, the process has been largely incident-free. There has been one or two incidences of concern. For instance, a school in Flagfontein, Kalabucha, recently there was a stabbing incident there. The community went and closed the school the following day. However, we had put in place contingency measures where we were able to take the learners to a different venue so that they can conclude their writing. Overall, strikes, community protests have not really disrupted the process of writing. In fact, we need to applaud our community largely because they've heard our plea that let's give these learners an opportunity. This is their final exam. They should be, incubated and allowed the space to ensure that they are able to write without any form of disruption. And the communities at large have adhered to that. Hence, we are sitting here with very few incidences that have taken place. Of concern that we have currently is the absenteeism from part-time students. That's the only fundamental concern that we have. There are many factors that really, affect this. You know that most of the part-time learners, some of them are employed, some of them might not have been ready. Some of them is about times, different times in their workplace. So there are many factors. I think it's something that we'll look into in the future. How do we ensure that we get them as much as possible, create spaces so that they are able to write. But so far, without those, the process has gone very well. We are happy as a department as to how far, so far. There's never been any form of leakages or threats thereof. There's never been life-threatening incidences. We are confident that we will be able to conclude this National Senior Certificate process smoothly without any fundamental interference. So we are quite happy, and we're happy with the learners thus far. The learners have really shown commitment. The full-time learners to write, minimal absenteeism from that side, except one or two, some who fell ill during exams. So if we will be sharing the presentation, you will see that they are very minimal, considering the magnitude of that we are dealing with. And so we are happy. So marking has started, not the early session marking has started. There are very few schools, we're using about 5 schools for early marking. Yes, we're using about 5 schools for early marking. We just started from the 17th, that will run until this 27th. However, the main marking session will begin from the 7th until the 20th of December. We have 26 marking centers. We've also added another 4 for just for contingency, so that if anything happens in one of the centers, we do have a backup plan. So, but the official marking centers are 26. We've got 12,711 marking officials. That includes moderators, and so we do have that capacity set up. They are ready. All the best we can do now is to ensure that we give them as much support they need to ensure that they do this process unhinged. They are very experienced, so we know that this process goes very smoothly from the 7th until the 20th of December. Remember, there were more than 30 question papers that will be written, or they were to be written. So it's a lot, it's a lot. There are certain technology that we have applied to improve their marking, the marking process. So as things stand, we are happy with how everything is going. We are ready for the marking process with all the necessary precautions have been set so that the process can go smoothly. Important dates, the results will be released on the 19th of January by the DBE, the provincial results the day after, as well as the statements will be provided the day after, the 20th of January. So those are the key important dates. However, as a province, we do have a bursary, the GCI bursary scheme. It's, the link is there, the GCI bursary.gauteng.gov.za. It's open, it's available for all eligible youth in Gauteng, all eligible matriculants. What is important is that the applicants must fully comply with the criteria. They are open up to the 28th of February 2023. So with that said, we want to wish the current cohort of matriculants well as they conclude. We are proud of them. We are proud of the level of commitment they've shown so far, the discipline, and also to ensure that the smooth running of this examination. They've signed a pledge and they've honored the pledge. Hence, we're sitting here incident-free with regard to any examination. They are small, not even a 0.001% of those who could have diverted from the pledge. Largely incident-free process. So we're happy and we're proud of them. Now, moving to the learner placement for grade 1 and grade 8. So far, the process is on track to ensure that we place all the applicants to run through, to give it you a proper update. We had received 332,477 unique applications for both grade 1 and grade 8. Of those, 157,697 were for grade 1, 174,780 were for grade 8. And we have managed to place 87.71% of those learners. As you can, the figures are as follows: 126,681 for grade 8 and 129,567 for grade 1. We currently are sitting with 35,897 for both grade 1 and grade 8 that are to be placed, which is 12%. That is left. There will be, we're still in that process, they will be placed, which is 9,897 grade 1, 26,000 grade 8. So parents should not be worried now, but now they have not, the time is going obviously towards the end of the placement period, which is the 30th of November. We are working around the clock to ensure that we get the learners placed. What we need currently, one of the things that is clogging the system, we've got 5,485 applicants who have received offers. Their parents have not accepted them. And this is a problem because it clogs the system, it delays. You'll find that maybe the learner has been offered space in 2 or 3 schools. You know, until they accept that particular offer, those spaces in the system will be, the system will cover them as currently been filled. So they need to assist us by accepting one of the places so that they free up the system so that we can also then move and begin to place our learners as well. So that is what one of the big problems we're having. So we have that particular large number, which you can see that it makes a huge dent to the 12% that is there. However, auto placing has already started. If the parents have not accepted the offers, we will move with auto placing as we have done currently with some of the parents. We will auto place those learners into those schools and so that we can free up the space so that we are able to place the learners into those open spaces. So all this process will take place up to the 30th of November. Important to note, these are, I would like to say, frequently asked questions. Firstly, we have begun with auto placing, and some of the parents have come back and said, this is not what I want. This is not the school that we wanted. But they were given an option, you know, to say, here's an options of school, where do you want to see your child? And the thing about this, this process is that when the parents apply, when you effectively saying, these are the 3 schools I'm applying for, you are saying to us that you are happy that your child can go to any one of these schools. That's what you are saying to us. So when we place your child in any one of those schools, you know, we are complying to what you have said to us, that you are comfortable with any of these 3 or 4 schools. You know, and you find that some parents, for them, it's an assumption that it's just a compliance process. It's not a compliance process. It's a process that says to us that you are happy with those set schools, and those schools, your child can go to either of those schools. So we have done that. We have placed those learners into those particular schools, and they've come back and said, this is not what I want. That's not a school that they preferred. So I will get to the issues of appeal with regard to this matter. We are busy with transfers. The key issues that affect transfers is firstly, you have parents that have applied for schools based on using their work address. Parents that have applied, that have not full siblings, correct? And their home address, thank you, Ishwar. Yes. So that process itself it's a bit complex. However, you find that there's a 30-kilometer radius from the home or 30 kilometers beyond. Now, how we deal with that process, we look at, firstly, it's not about how quick or early you have applied, because there was an assumption that when you arrive early in the morning, then you will, it's a first come, first serve. We don't do that. It's not, we don't use that as a criteria. We look at the home address as, I'm saying, siblings, work, 30 kilometers or beyond 30 kilometers. The issue of the 30 kilometers is just a transformation. It's for transformation purposes. You know, we don't have schools that we call them a white school. We don't have a white school in our province or a black school. We have schools in our province, and eligibility for learners should be considered as such. You know. So the 30 kilometers. So what happens is that parents apply using their their work address, but when you look at the utility, you find that the school are nearer to their home is where the space is available. Find that parents, for instance, where we are in Parktown, they work in Parktown, they'll want their children to come to Parktown, but you find that Parktown, you will see in terms of our high-pressure schools, is also one of the high-pressure schools. There is no space. So when we place them closer to their school or closer to their home address. You know, that's how the transfer process will work, and it's working currently. Because we look at schools where their spaces are available. You know, so that's with regard to the current placement. We have 313 high-pressure schools, primary schools, and 234 high-pressure secondary schools. In the past, the system, once it reached its maximum, it would black out in the previous year. But based on some of the concerns that were raised by the schools, amongst those is that the system might say that we are full, but most of those who would have applied, maybe they've got incomplete application, they don't comply, and that made it very difficult. So they had requested that let's just not black out any school. Let's allow the process of application to continue either way. And you will see this by the numbers we give with regard to high-pressure schools. These are the list of the 10 high-pressure schools in the province. Like I said, there are 313 in the province, primary schools. Large school Acacia, you can see based on the capacity, it's got 255, and it has had 1,538 applications. The list is outlined there, you can see. So we do have a contingency plan with regard to the high-pressure schools. I will get to it later. High schools, you can see, as I've said, Parktown Boys High is also, it's in the top 3 as a high-pressure school, 2328, like I've said, and look at the space capacity is 152 space. So, and these are the factors I was talking about, that parents work around here in Parktown, and ordinarily they would have wanted their children to come to school so that they can drop them in the morning and leave with them in the afternoon. So these are some of the examples. As you can see, the high-pressure schools in our province. Hoërskool Pretoria North, Langehoven 2,600 with a capacity of 300. And North Cliff High, number 10, with 1,900 applications for 270 spaces. So we do have these high pressure schools. So there are over 200 of them. So interventions that we will be putting in place, they'll be multi-pronged to assist them. We'll be looking to give them mobile units, mobile classrooms, so that they can create more space. We do have a program of self-build where we'll be giving schools money to ensure that they build additional classroom capacity. We have already started with that process of transferring money to schools so that they can start with that process to build additional classrooms, as well as mobile. So it will multi-pronged. So with this process, we are looking to avail around 599 additional classrooms for primary schools and 698 additional classrooms for secondary schools. And this is not for only high-pressure schools that you see here, also other schools that might not necessarily be extremely high-pressured. So it's a broad. The number is quite broad. Then those numbers are just to highlight that they are preferred schools by parents, and parents need to bear with us that as much as they would have preferred certain schools, because of capacity, we would have loved, I'm sure the school would have loved to have all those learners placed in their school. But because of limited school capacity, they could not be placed in those schools. On objections and appeals, I've said earlier that when the parent applied for a set schools, 3 of them or 5 of those schools, you were telling us that you are happy with your child being placed in those schools. So those parents do not have a right to object or appeal. We're not saying don't write to us. Maybe you want to write to us, it's okay. We would love to read your letter. But however, your appeal will not be considered, because you told us that you are happy with any of those 3 or 4 schools that you have applied for. So we will not be acting outside your own mandate. Secondly, objections must be done within 7 days. Those who will be eligible to object are those who will be transferred to schools that they would not have applied for. Those are the parents that will be, objections or appeals that will be considered. So they only have 7 days to object, the placement offer, the transfers. All objections will be judged on merit. There are a number of factors. We're not saying that when you object, your concern will not, it will be heard. The merit varies. You find that if we've placed your child in a school far from you, and there are no scholar transport or any other measures in place for your learner to go, your child to go to that school, those are some of the merits we'll be looking at. So they vary. So multiple factors. So we will be looking at every single objection with its own merit, and it will be given in a response. So all those appeals will be done and responded to within between 14 and 21 days of receipt. So one important factor, the decision of the appeal as signed by the MEC will be final. Once the MEC signs it off, and we give you that response, there is no other recourse. So it should be known as such. So, but what is important to assure parents is that those who would be objecting, and we will be considering your objections based on their merit, and they will be given due consideration, and we will be looking to support you as much as possible. We do have a problem of incomplete applications. They're still there. That includes valid proof of address. The system is connected with Home Affairs. Some of the IDs, Home Affairs system could not confirm, and they are also considered as incomplete. So for those who, and these ones also fall under the category of those that are writing, currently sending myself emails, sending myself WhatsApp, that they've not received SMSs. This process will be dealt with from the 1st until the 15th of December. That's where we'll begin to deal with these learners that their parents have submitted an incomplete application. So this one will be finalized. We are opening for late applications from the 20th of December up to the 20th of January. You know that Gauteng is it's a province where we have a lot of in-migration, and you'll find that some parents will be bringing their children to the province. So we are opening this process for them largely, and for those that who might have missed the deadline, the first process, they will be given an opportunity to apply. So the dates are there, 20th of December this year, 2022, up to the 20th of January, 2023, for grade 1 and grade 8. So the online system will be open for those late applicants. The contact details are there. You can call us. We have a hotline number. It's outlined there, 0800 000 789. We have a WhatsApp line. We've got emails. You can contact us on our social media platform. We do open our social media platform. Your inboxes, they will be responded to. We have a team that's working around the clock, as well as our website, to ensure that the response to all the issues that parents will be placing on these particular platforms. So those are the details there. So overall, in conclusion, is to say all learners or all applicants will be placed in our school at the beginning of the school year. The learner will have a chair, will have a desk, will have the tools. Learner teacher support material will be in place. They'll have an educator in front of them, and will be ready for schooling to provide them with quality education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC. Now we can take clarity-seeking questions from the MEC, and the HOD is there. Okay, it will be you, Heidi. Is that the only one? Okay, let's go. That's yes.
Thank you. It's Heidi Jockers from ENCA. I just want to ask in terms of that school in Parktown. So the learners say that they don't have furniture to sit on. That's part of the reason why it's wrong. Okay, Heidi Jockers from ENCA. I just want to ask about that school in Vlakfontein. So the learners say that they don't have furniture to sit on, and that's also part of the reason why there's a lot of fighting that's happening. Are you aware of this, and how do learners not have furniture to sit on? Apparently people stand while they're writing exams. And secondly, what's happening with the principal there? Because I understand that he's not been suspended yet. Why? Thank you.
Okay. I think we'll close it there then. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me deal with the furniture issue, because it does not only affect Parktown, it affects many of our schools. Annually, the department provides for additional number of learners that we get in schools, school furniture. But what surprises us is, even when we do that, you find that in the middle of the year, a school comes to us and asks for 1,000 chairs, 1,000 desks. It may not be applicable directly to Vlakfontein, but I'm talking of a phenomenon that we have identified, and it could also be extended to Vlakfontein. So we have since formed the view and have seen that there's a whole lot of vandalism of school furniture that would have happened. And when that happens, unfortunately, we can only supply to the budget that you have in a particular year. So ordinarily, we would want school governing bodies to repair the furniture that gets broken during the year, but we also equally ask young people who are in our schools to take care of that furniture. We have also noted that there were instances where furniture has developed legs. Some chairs have developed legs and it goes out. We buy furniture here, then the next week, that entire classroom has got no furniture. So we ask ourselves, what are communities doing with the furniture? Where does it end up? And it is in that context that there may be instances where you find that a school may not have adequate furniture, but it does not mean the department would not have supplied that furniture. The problem is that something happened at the side of the community in respect of that furniture. And I think we want to send that message to all communities to take care of our schools. As a matter of fact, when schools close, in Gauteng, we even get worried about the level of vandalism that happens in our schools. And I'm sure it is something that we would want to elevate, that in our communities, let's make sure that our schools are safeguarded. Maybe the MEC will talk to the principal issue, because he's giving direction on that one.
Okay. No, thank you, HOD. We will look into that. We can't just say why the principal not suspended. You know, we've got laws that govern the labor. So we will look into the issue of the principal, and if there are where we feel that he has erred, there will be action upon. But so far, we've had the concerns. We've gone to that community, we've gone to the school. There's quite a number of accusations that were leveled against him. So we're busy investigating them. Upon the conclusion of that, then we'll take a necessary action. Remember, we are not in the process of, like in the private sector. I'm sure in ENCA they can just decide to fire you tomorrow, and then there's no fundamental implication. But we are governed by laws, and we have to look at all the merits in place, and first we'll have to see if we can assist. If the principal has a problem that we can help with, that's where we start. We will be looking first to see how we can assist so that the principal can come back and do their works properly, complete their duties properly. So we are looking into it. There's a process in place, and a decision will be made very soon with regard to the principal. But what is important about Kalabucha, and it's one of those schools that are in the hotspot areas for crime. The Vlakfontein area, you know, that Fine Town, they've been in the media of late with regard to some shooting incidences. So you could get a sense that You know, in fact, schools, just to put it this way, schools are very receptive to the immediate community. If you want to know the state of the community, the first place to start is the school. You know, it could tell what is the current situation in the community, and most of the problems are outside the school, but they do find themselves filtering into our schools. And that's what the situation in Vlakfontein, in Kalabucha. And it's not the Kalabucha, Vlakfontein area alone. We do have quite a number of areas in our communities across the province where we do have similar challenges. Hence the community becomes integral part to ensure that we get our schooling right, we get the process of ensuring that we are able to discharge our duties correctly. So that partnership, collective partnership between the schools and the community becomes central.
Thanks very much, MEC, HOD. I think we are done with our press briefing because we could not see any of the questions that were coming online, so it means we are covered. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much.